Millionaires and billionaires are taking joyrides into space, leaving us peons to stand in the dirt and fantasize about our future, imagining what wonders space could hold for us. Could we be lucky enough to one day travel the stars? Could we stand on the surface of another planet in our lifetimes? Could we enjoy space tourism? What does this mean for the rest of us? Is Katy Perry an astronaut? Over the last 60 years, there's been heavy implication in the media whenever they show off rockets, suggesting that they want us to believe that we'll get to travel to space. We'll get to visit the stars. We'll get to enjoy a vacation in a space station hotel in orbit above the Earth. Or maybe we can buy a home on the moon. Do you remember that? The moon colony they were supposed to build? Now the new optimistic goal is that they want us to believe that in the next 20 to 30 years, they're gonna build a colony on the surface of Mars. Mars. I love space. I've spent many hours gazing at the stars, imagining what's out there. But the recent buzz in the media about celebrities and the wealthy leaving Earth's atmosphere for an 11-minute sightseeing tour doesn't actually represent a meaningful step forward in humanity's progression. If anything, it's almost a step backwards. We still suffer from so many problems that plague our own planet. We still have so many issues that need to be solved here on Earth. Wealth inequality, struggling families, so many people still can't afford homes or food, pollution and climate change destroying the environment, making so many people ill. It's shortening our life expectancy. Rich people being able to enjoy the privilege of short recreational trips above our atmosphere doesn't change anything for the rest of us. Rockets will not save the Earth. Katy Perry is not an astronaut. That's a joke. Everything that we saw in the media about the Blue Origin rocket and the concept of space tourism is frustrating. And frankly, it's completely insulting. I'm shocked at how tone-deaf the entire concept of this rocket launch was. In a perfect world, an all-female rocket launch should be inspirational. This really should be able to stand as a testament to the tenacity, bravery, and capability of women. But sadly, this was just a publicity stunt. Rich people are just gonna do what they want to do. I mean, just look at the OceanGate submarine, right? Billionaires are just going to completely ignore reality and do what they want to do in service of their own ego. That's fine. We're used to that. But the point that I want to get across here is that celebrities taking 11-minute trips into space doesn't actually help anyone in any way. Think about just the money spent on the rocket itself. Those tens of millions of dollars could have actually been used to help uplift women directly. They could have used the money to create programs for women or invest in existing female-led projects. Instead, they spent it on a ride for personal enjoyment, so they could pat themselves on the back for being amazing people. The whole thing was narcissistic. The passengers just made it all about themselves, and in reality were using it as an opportunity to snap photos for Instagram. Their entire training program for the flight was a single weekend.
They spent the past 2 days at facilities for Blue Origin going over preparations. Their tasks included practicing how to get into and out of the New Shepard capsule. You go in, and then you go out. Oh, once again, ladies, the group also practiced how to put on and take off their seatbelts.
Instead of airtight, safe spacesuits, they wore cute, tight, form-fitting jumpsuits. I mean, you want us to take this seriously? You must think so little of us. And their trip was so short that they didn't even go high enough up to burn the atmosphere on their descent back to Earth. This is literally an amusement park ride for rich people. I've asked some of the women that I know to share their opinion on this, and they all expressed disappointment. Thousands of women in North America spend their entire lives studying, devoting themselves to science, dedicating themselves to achieve greatness and prove themselves as capable so that they can become astronauts or work in the space industry. And out of the hundreds of people who actually train to go to space and grind to prove themselves as a possible astronaut, only a tiny fraction of them actually get chosen to fly missions. Flying into space is a true achievement that's only granted to very few people. But But Katy Perry gets to go to space because she's a celebrity, and she can afford $11 million for a seat on a capsule. And Katy isn't even famous for being a great artist or an inspiring voice for women. She's a pop star that gets pushed in our face because she represents an image that the industry wants to advertise to us. This isn't somebody that women actually look up to. And she didn't even take the flight seriously. She spent the entire time making it about herself, staring directly into the camera, self-worshipping while she held a flower and promoted her new upcoming concert tour or something. This behavior is deluded. It's like she has no idea what's going on or what this flight is supposed to represent for women.
It is the highest high, and it is surrender to the unknown, trust, and this whole journey is not just about going to space. It's the training, it's the team, it's the whole thing. I couldn't recommend this experience more. This is like up there with all the different tools that I've learned in my life, from meditation to the Hoffman process. This is up there because what you're doing is you're really finding the love for yourself, because you got to trust in yourself on this journey. And then you're feeling the love when you come down, for sure. And you're feeling that strength. So I feel really connected to that strong, divine feminine right now.
One of the things that they implied was that this was supposed to be the first all-female space flight. And a lot of people have criticized this, bringing up the fact that that's actually been done before, and better, by more deserving astronauts. And of most of the criticisms that I've seen of this space flight, most people tend to miss the most insulting part about it. The true purpose behind this PR stunt. This wasn't actually about promoting girl power. It was about making it look like they were. This entire venture was led by Jeff Bezos' wife. She's supposedly the mastermind behind this, the one who recruited all the passengers and envisioned the dream. But clearly the entire point of this was to help Jeff Bezos' public image. They cooked up this entire stunt about women empowerment to deflect from Jeff Bezos' recent support of Donald Trump. For example, the Republicans lately have been doing a lot to destroy women's rights, making it impossible or even illegal for women to get abortions. And Jeff Bezos, along with several other tech billionaires, donated a lot of money to support Donald Trump's last campaign. So put two and two together, and that creates the image that Jeff Bezos doesn't really care about women having sovereignty over their own bodies. It kind of looks like Jeff doesn't really care about women at all. So this all-female rocket launch was designed to make it look as if Jeff Bezos really does support women and he celebrates them. And that's the main reason why this entire thing was so tone deaf.
Please don't call it a ride. That is not a freaking ride. Whenever a man goes up, you have never said to an astronaut, boy, what a ride. You know, we duplicated the same trajectory that Alan Shepard did back in the day, pretty much. No one called that a ride. It was called a flight. It was called a journey, because a ride implies that it's something frivolous or something that's lighthearted. There was nothing frivolous about what we did.
The all-female rocket launch was never sincere from the beginning. It's just PR. In a similar vein, in 2022, SpaceX announced that they were going to conduct a manned mission to orbit the moon. It was called the Dear Moon Project, funded by wealthy individuals. They invited several high-profile celebrities and artists to ride the capsule. Even a YouTuber that's obsessed with Elon Musk and SpaceX was promised a seat on this capsule. And this guy made a really big deal out of it too. He told all of his followers and his family that he was going to go to the moon. But then randomly, the project was abandoned in 2024, completely disappointing everyone that was promised a seat. But for those of us who know how the world really works, we understood that this moon mission was never actually going to happen. And you might say that it was irresponsible of SpaceX to promise so many people that they were going to be able to take a trip to the moon before they knew for sure that it was even going to be possible. But that's the point. It was probably never actually supposed to happen. This was just a future fake. Elon Musk does that a lot. The entire Dear Moon Project campaign was designed to get people talking about SpaceX. It created excitement for the company by attaching a whole bunch of famous names to a high-profile project. And who knows, maybe it even helped improve the value of the company. All these famous people told their fans that Elon Musk was sending them to the moon. The media told everyone that Elon Musk was sending these people to the moon. And then for 2 years, while they were developing this rocket, everyone in the world had the impression that SpaceX was advanced enough enough to be able to send people off planet. It gave people the impression that SpaceX was confident enough about their technology that it could match NASA's achievements. But this entire campaign was probably just perception-building marketing. I don't think that it was ever actually a realistic or genuine goal. I'd be surprised. As NASA astronaut Don Petit said,
"I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again."
Space missions are not just a simple walk in the park that you can whip together in a couple of years. For NASA to go to the moon, it took the talent, skill, and dedication from thousands of people working together for decades to engineer and coordinate. This new era of vanity space travel has completely trivialized the achievements of those thousands of people. And it has added absolutely nothing. It hasn't made space more accessible to everybody. It hasn't made the dream more realistic. And I get it. I love space. I admire the people qualified enough to earn their place among the stars. Astronauts are high achievers, brave travelers, and dedicated scientists. The cosmos are mesmerizing, and there are so many mysteries above our heads. An endless display of intrigue and wonder, especially since the introduction of the James Webb Telescope, showing us deeper into the void than we've ever been able to see before, giving us even newer mysteries that completely contradict what we thought we knew about cosmology even just a few years ago. Space is inspiring, but look at the reality of this. We can't actually go there yet. We're not even close. And the small handful of astronauts that are chosen to take rockets into space don't usually get to go past low Earth orbit. And only about 24 people in all of human history have actually gone past the Van Allen belt. And I mean, at the altitude that the International Space Station orbits, there's still a small amount of atmosphere that creates friction against the hull. So one could argue that the astronauts in various space stations are technically not even really outside of Earth's atmosphere. Historically, rocket and space technology has never actually been about us. We're advertised the achievements of space programs as if they're somehow representative of a collective achievement for humanity, as if their milestones are all of our milestones. But what were really the motivations of our governments to dump so much money into space technology? Why do our governments love rockets so much? For the most part, rockets and space technology are really just designed and built to showcase military strength and to brag about military technological capabilities. It's always been this way from the beginning. The very first man-made object to ever leave the atmosphere was Germany's V2 rocket designed by Wernher von Braun, launched in June 1944, exactly 81 years ago. And the first people to land on the moon were the Americans in 1969 during the height of the Cold War, again to demonstrate the capabilities of long-range rockets. The motivation was always the same. Look how far we can fire our rockets. Look how much control we have over our missiles. That's why they put satellites up there. That's why they put astronauts up there. If we can put astronauts or satellites above your heads, then we can monitor you anywhere. If we can send a rocket to the moon and bring it back in a couple of weeks, then we can send a rocket anywhere, and we can drop it anywhere with whatever payload or cargo we want to put at the end of the rocket. Rockets have never been about us, and they never will be. Even Elon's plan to go to Mars, that's just a vanity project. He wants to send hundreds of people to the surface of Mars to die in some pointless desert colony just to prove that he can. That's not actually going to help us. It's just an ego project designed to make specific people feel special and important for getting to pass away on a different planet. They're being selfish. They just want to escape the madness of Earth. They're not actually trying to help the Earth. They're not saving humanity. In the end, things like the Katy Perry space stunt only end up destroying hope and demoralizing the average person. The message that it actually sends to women who are trying to work hard to be chosen to fly in a space mission is disparaging. It's as if Jeff Bezos is saying to women, you can spend your entire life working hard to prove yourself, studying to try to achieve greatness, but we decide who goes to space. We decide who's important enough to be chosen for this privilege. And we decide who gets to go in front of the camera to represent women. They could have chosen anyone for this mission to inspire women, and they chose a bunch of celebrities that nobody really cares about. The real message here is that these sorts of privileges and experiences are gate-kept. That things like this are not actually for us. These rockets are now just a new throne or a new pedestal that privileged people get to stand on to feel more important than us.
And then my question is, have y'all been to space? Have you been to space? Go to space or go to Blue Origin and see what they do and how they do, and then come back and say, this is a terrible thing.
Rockets are now just the new thing that privileged people use to elevate themselves above us. But let me know what you guys think, and thank you so much to my patrons and my channel members for supporting my work. I could not do this without you. You're amazing.